Okay, let's jump right into this. Did you know that right now, or maybe very recently, your body is literally undergoing a transformation so profound it's essentially a mini revolution? And it's happening entirely inside of you. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to decode the absolutely fascinating biological journey of puberty. And we'll be mapping out the invisible microcauses to show exactly how they create those highly visible macro effects.
Now, you might be wondering, so why does this all matter so much? Well, puberty isn't just some passing phase. It's an absolutely critical, structural part of human development. Mastering this topic is a real game changer for two big reasons. First, it helps you understand how your own body works. And second, for sure, there are some pretty vital marks at stake on your upcoming biology exams. And we're going to make sure you've got the exact tools to lock those in. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the puberty revolution, dive into hormones, those invisible triggers, then map out the visible physical changes, bust a few common misconceptions, and finally wrap up by acing your biology exam. All right, part one, the puberty revolution and the transition to adulthood. Let's set the stage. So, if we look at the core definition here, puberty is the phase where a person undergoes physical changes from a child into an adult. Notice how we're highlighting the transition to sexual maturity. That's the ultimate outcome here. Just cement that definition in your mind because this is the big macro effect we're going to be reverse engineering today. Moving right along to section 2, hormones. The invisible triggers. We're shifting from the big picture all the way down to the microscopic causes. Now let's look at the invisible chemical surges driving all this. Check out this split view. On the left side for boys, notice how the vector points from testosterone directly to muscle development and voice deepening. It's the main fuel. Then, over on the right, for girls, estrogen is the primary trigger. See how the arrows link it straight to breast development and the start of menstruation? It's like a giant puzzle. These massive, whole-body transformations are entirely driven by these tiny, microscopic hormonal surges we see labeled right here. Okay, section 3, visible physical changes. The macro effects. We've seen the micro triggers, so let's zoom back out to the broader effects that everyone shares. There are common physical changes that both boys and girls experience as they mature. Let's walk through this sequence. Step 1, right at the top, usually starts with a rapid height increase. Following that downward arrow, to step 2, we get the growth of body hair. That flows right into step 3, the enlargement of reproductive organs. And ultimately, at the bottom of our chart, the production and release of sex cells. This step-by-step sequence, that's the shared blueprint of human sexual maturity. Next up, section 4, busting common misconceptions. Fact versus fiction. Let's clear up some biological errors before they trip you up on a test. So, a massive myth is that puberty starts at the exact same age for everybody and just happens overnight. No way. In reality, the onset varies widely. If you look at the timeline we've laid out here, the process is highly individual and actually spans several years. It's a gradual, rolling journey, absolutely not a sudden, overnight spike. Here's another really common myth, that emotional changes during puberty are solely due to external stress, like school or friends. But the fact is, internal hormonal fluctuations play a huge role. Those same invisible chemical surges of testosterone and estrogen we mapped out earlier, they are actively driving the emotional roller coaster too, not just the physical one. All right, section 5, acing your biology exam. The exam hacker. Let's put all this into practice with some active recall. Let's tackle a typical exam question, exactly how it might show up on your paper. During blank, a person undergoes physical changes from a child into an adult. Okay, based on that definition we locked in earlier, what goes in the blank? Boom! The exact term they want is puberty. And don't forget our foundational rule annotated right below it. This whole machine is fundamentally driven by those micro triggers, testosterone and estrogen. Let's level up a bit. Which of the following are common changes during puberty? 1. Reproductive organs grow larger. 2. Height increases rapidly. 3. Muscles develop. 4. Hair grows. Or 5. Sex cells release. Think back to that flowchart of shared effects we just looked at. Which of these apply across the board to both genders? Okay, checking the table, the correct variables are 1, 2, 4, and 5. Did you notice what we filtered out? Yep, we dropped muscles develop. Like we highlighted earlier, major muscle development is primarily fueled by testosterone in boys. That makes it a specific change rather than a universal one for everyone.
Let's quickly lock this into your memory before we go. Point 1, puberty is a hormone-driven transition. 2, the key invisible triggers are testosterone and estrogen. 3, common macro changes include growth spurts and body hair. And 4, the timeline is highly individual, varying widely and spanning several years.
For your exams, make sure you focus on those specific roles of the hormones and that sequence of physical changes. But before we wrap up today, I really want to leave you with a thought. If these tiny, invisible hormonal triggers dictate so much of your profound physical transformation, how else might they be silently shaping your mind, your behaviors, and your future? Keep questioning the incredible mechanics of your biology. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.